1. Introduction. My name is Jan. I am 28 years old. I live with my husband, Jimmy, and our 2 children. Our life is very busy every day. We have been married for 5 years. I wake up very early in the morning before anyone else. My first job is to prepare breakfast for everyone. After that, I start cleaning the house. There is always something to do, like washing clothes, sweeping floors, and making sure things are tidy. Then, I spend my day taking care of our 2 young children. They need my attention for many hours. I help them get ready, play with them, and prepare their meals. This daily routine takes up most of my time. It is a demanding schedule, but I do it for my family. Jimmy, my husband, also works very hard. He leaves our home very early in the morning, often before the sun rises. He goes to his first job. He works as an accountant in an office during the day. After his first job finishes, he does not come home. Instead, he goes directly to his second job. He works as a security guard at night. Jimmy works 16 hours every single day without much rest. He works on Saturdays and Sundays. Because of his long hours, Jimmy is rarely at home with us. Sometimes, I do not see him at all for a whole day. He leaves before I wake up and often comes home after I am asleep. We have very little time to spend together as a couple or as a family. This constant work and the need to earn money create pressure on us. The financial situation is always on our minds. We need to pay for our house, buy food, and get clothes for the children. This pressure makes our family life difficult. I miss Jimmy very much. I miss talking to him and spending moments with him. I miss the simple things we used to share. However, I understand why he works so much. We know these sacrifices are necessary for our family. We must work hard so our children have what they need. It is not an easy life, but we try our best every day. I stay strong for our children and for Jimmy. We hope that one day things will be easier for us. 2. A tired heart. My days were long and full of work. I spent hours cleaning the house, cooking meals, and taking care of our 2 children. I loved my family, but I felt very tired. My many responsibilities never seemed to end. It was like a circle that kept going day after day. I had no time for myself, not even a little bit. Sometimes I would look in the mirror. I saw a woman, but she did not look like the old Jan. The Jan who loved to read books or go for walks. This new Jan wore old clothes and always had tired eyes. My friends sometimes posted pictures online. They were at parties or traveling to new places. I was at home, washing dishes. It made me feel very far away from them and from the person I used to be. Jimmy came home very late most nights. He was always so tired from working 2 jobs. He would eat his dinner quickly, sometimes without saying much. Then he would fall asleep almost at once. We talked less and less as the weeks went by. The silence in the house grew bigger between us. I knew he worked hard for our family, but it made me feel very lonely. I felt like I was living in our home, but no one truly saw me. My feelings were hidden deep inside. I did not want to tell Jimmy how tired or sad I felt. He already carried so much on his shoulders. I did not want to add to his worries. So I kept my thoughts to myself. One evening, I tried to tell him about my day. I started a sentence, but before I could finish, he was asleep right there on the couch. I stopped talking. Later, when I lay in bed, I could not sleep. I looked at the dark ceiling. A deep, empty feeling grew inside my heart. It made me feel very alone. The tiredness was not just in my body, it was in my heart too. 3. The accident. One cold evening, the telephone rang. It was late, and I felt tired. I picked up the phone. A voice said it was the hospital. My heart started to beat very fast. They told me Jimmy had an accident. He was at his second job, working as a security guard. My body felt cold. I could not believe what I heard. Jimmy? An accident? It was a shock that changed everything in a single moment. I quickly got dressed. I woke the children and explained we needed to go to the hospital. They were sleepy and confused. We took a taxi. The ride felt very long. My mind was full of bad thoughts. I hoped Jimmy was okay. I prayed he was not badly hurt. Each second felt like an hour. I tried to stay calm for the children, but my hands were shaking. When we arrived, a nurse showed us the way. I saw Jimmy lying in a hospital bed. He looked very pale. His face showed pain. His leg was in a big bandage. A heavy door had hit his leg at work. He looked at me, and his eyes were full of sadness and worry. Soon, a doctor came to talk to us. He spoke slowly and seriously. He said Jimmy's injury was serious. He needed to rest for many weeks at home. The doctor confirmed Jimmy could not work during this time. My breath stopped. Weeks? No work? How would we live? The news hit me like a physical blow. My mind began to race, thinking about our life. We did not have much money saved. Jimmy worked 2 jobs every day, 16 hours in total. His paychecks paid for everything we needed. Now, there would be no money coming in. How would we pay for our small house? How would we buy food for the children? How would we pay the other important bills like electricity and water? I felt a wave of fear wash over me. It was a terrible, cold feeling. The future, which was already difficult, now looked completely uncertain. Jimmy looked at me with worried eyes. He reached for my hand. "I am so sorry, Jan," he said softly. His voice was weak with pain and guilt. I tried to smile, to be strong for him. "Do not worry, Jimmy," I said. "We will be okay. We will find a way." But inside, I was not okay. Inside, I was screaming silently. I felt a deep, cold terror. Everything had changed in just one phone call. Our future, which was already hard, now looked impossible. I felt the heavy weight of it all. I did not know what to do. I did not know how we would get through this. The silence in the hospital room felt very loud. It was the sound of my fear and a future full of unknown problems. 4. Carrying the weight. Jimmy came home from the hospital. His leg had a very big cast. He could not walk well at all. He needed help to move even a little bit around the house. Suddenly, my daily work became much, much bigger. I already took care of our 2 young children. I cleaned our home and cooked all the family meals. Now, I also had to care for Jimmy. I brought him food and drinks. I helped him get comfortable in his chair or bed. I made sure he took his medicine on time. The days stretched out, long and tiring. I woke up very early, often before the sun came up. My first task was to make breakfast for everyone. Then I helped the children get dressed and ready for school. After they left, I started cleaning the house. I washed many clothes and did all the dishes. Then it was time to check on Jimmy again. I made him lunch. I helped him change his position so he would not hurt. Sometimes he even needed help to go to the bathroom. My body felt heavy and very, very tired. One afternoon, I felt very hot and weak. My head hurt badly. I knew I had a fever. It was hard to breathe sometimes, and my muscles ached, but I could not stop. The children still needed their mother. Jimmy needed his wife to care for him. There was truly no one else to help us during this difficult time. I drank some water and tried to keep going. I cooked dinner with a hot, flushed face. I put the children to bed, then helped Jimmy one last time before I could rest. Jimmy saw how much extra work I was doing. He often looked sad and worried. "I am so sorry, Jan," he would say with a low voice. He felt bad that he could not work. He felt bad that I had to do everything by myself. I always tried to be strong for him. I told him, "It is okay, Jimmy. We are a team. We will get through this together." I tried hard to smile, even when I did not feel like it. But at night, when everyone in the house was finally asleep, I went to the kitchen. The house was quiet and dark. I sat at the table alone. Sometimes I just put my head in my hands. The tears came quietly, but they came for a long time. I felt so incredibly tired. I felt so scared about our future. How would we pay for all our bills? How could I keep doing this hard work every single day? The weight on my shoulders felt very, very heavy. But in the morning, I would wipe my eyes. I would take a deep breath. I would start all over again. My deep love for my family gave me the strength. It pushed me forward, even when my heart was breaking from the pressure. 5. A stranger's smile. One afternoon, I went to the small market near our house. My bags were often heavy. My mind was usually on family and tasks. I often felt unseen, just moving through the day. My clothes were simple. I rarely thought about how I looked. No time for such things. This day my basket was very full. It was heavy. A man who worked at the market saw me. His name was Mark. He had a kind face and a friendly smile. He came quickly. "Let me help you with those bags," he said. His voice was gentle. I was surprised. No one had offered help like that in a long time. I thanked him, and he carried my bags to the counter. While he helped, he asked, "How was your day, Jan?" He remembered my name. This simple question felt important. Jimmy was often too tired to ask. My friends were busy. For a moment, I forgot my worries. I looked at Mark and smiled. It was a real smile, not just polite. It felt good and a little strange. After that day, I saw Mark each time I went to the market. He always said hello and had a friendly word. Sometimes he asked about my children or the weather. It was simple conversation, but for me, it was more. It was a time when someone saw me, Jan, not just a mother or wife. It made me feel like an individual again. I did not tell Jimmy about Mark. It felt like a small, private thing just for me. It was not a bad secret, but it was mine. Jimmy had many worries. I did not want to add anything new for him. This small attention from Mark was just a light moment in my hard days. It was nothing important, I told myself, but it brought comfort. Slowly, a change began in me. When I planned to go to the market, I started to think about what I would wear. I would choose a cleaner shirt, brush my hair more carefully. Sometimes I even put on lipstick. I did not understand why. Perhaps I wanted to feel better. Perhaps I liked being noticed, even by a stranger. This was a small change, but it made me feel less invisible inside. 6. Whispers and doubts. The quiet moments in our home were gone. The strain between Jimmy and me grew stronger every day. It was like a thick fog that filled the rooms. Jimmy was often quiet, but sometimes his words were sharp. He felt bad because he could not work. He felt like he was not a good husband because he could not provide for us. This made him feel insecure, and his insecurity turned into suspicion. He looked at me differently, as if searching for something hidden. One evening, I was sitting on the sofa. I had my phone in my hand and was reading a message from a friend. It was a funny picture, and I smiled. Jimmy saw me. His eyes were narrow. "Who are you texting?" he asked. His voice was cold, not like the Jimmy I knew. I felt a quick fear inside me. It was just a message from a friend, nothing bad. But I had been keeping small secrets like my talks with Mark. I had not done anything wrong, but the secrets made me feel guilty. I tried to laugh. "It's just Sarah," I said, showing him the phone. But he did not look. He just stared at me with a questioning look. "You're always on that phone," he said. "What's so important that you smile like that?" I felt anger rise in me. "It's nothing," I replied, my voice a little louder than I wanted. "Just a friend sending a joke." The air in the room became heavy. This small moment turned into a big fight. Jimmy talked about how hard he had worked for our family. "I worked 16 hours a day every day," he said, his voice full of pain. "And now I can't do anything. Look at us. We have no money and I am useless." My own tiredness and stress burst out. "I work hard too, Jimmy," I shouted. "I take care of everything here. The kids, the house, don't you see that?" Our voices were loud. The children who were playing nearby stopped and started to cry. Their small faces were full of fear. Seeing them cry made my heart ache. This was not us. This was not the family we wanted to be. We stopped shouting, but the damage was done. The silence after the fight was worse than the words. It was a cold, empty silence that filled the space between us. That night, sleep did not come. I lay next to Jimmy, but he felt miles away. The bed felt big and empty. I thought about our wedding day, about the dreams we had shared. Where had that love gone? It felt like the pressure of everything. The money problems, Jimmy's accident, my endless work, was slowly breaking us apart. I missed the old Jimmy, the man who would hold my hand and make me laugh. I missed us. I missed the easy talks, the shared smiles, the feeling of being a team. Now, there were only whispers of doubt and the cold fear that our love was truly lost. I just wanted to feel connected to him again, like we used to be. But with every argument, every suspicious look, we moved further apart. Our relationship felt like a fragile glass with many cracks appearing. The future felt uncertain and very lonely, and I did not know how to fix it. 7. A new start. After weeks of sadness and many difficult talks, a change finally came. The house had been quiet for too long, filled with unspoken worries and tired sighs. But then, a small light appeared. Jimmy, who had been hurt for so long, slowly started to get better. Each day, he felt a little stronger. He began to move more easily around the house. First, he used a stick to help him walk. Then, one day, he could walk without it. This was a very happy moment for us. It showed us that things could truly improve. One morning, Jimmy called me to the kitchen. His face held a hopeful look I had not seen in a long time. He told me he had something important to share. My heart beat a little faster. He said he had found a new job. It was not just any job, it was a much better one. This job paid more money, which was a huge help. Also, the hours were much better. This meant he would not need to work 2 jobs anymore. The heavy burden he carried for so long would finally be lifted. Hearing this news, tears came to my eyes. They were not tears of sadness, but tears of great relief and pure joy. It felt like a heavy weight had been taken off my shoulders and off our whole family. I hugged him tightly, holding on for a long time. It was a hug filled with all the hope we had lost and now found again. We sat down together at the kitchen table. For the first time in many months, we truly talked. We shared our hearts with each other. I told him about my deep loneliness. I explained how I felt so tired and unseen. I confessed how much I missed our old connection, the way we used to talk and laugh easily. Jimmy listened carefully. Then he spoke about his own feelings. He said he did not see how much I was hurting because he was so busy trying to keep our family safe. He was focused only on working hard and making sure we had enough money to live. He did not realize how far apart we had grown. We both cried as we talked. It was a good cry, a way to let out all the pain we had kept inside. We understood each other better in that moment than we had in years. We made a promise to each other, a very important one. We promised to rebuild our love brick by brick. We would work together to make our connection strong again. This was not just a new job, it was a new start for us, for our marriage, and for our family. We felt a sense of peace and a strong hope for the future. The hard times had shown us what truly mattered. 8. Light after the storm. Jimmy began his new job. Slowly, things in our house started to get better. It was like a new day after a long, dark night. He worked fewer hours, which meant he came home earlier. This was a big change for all of us. The constant pressure on him was gone, and I could see the stress leave his face. He smiled more, and his eyes had a new sparkle. With the extra money from his new job, we could finally afford some help. A kind woman came to our house a few days a week to help with the children. This was a gift for me. For the first time in many years, I had time that was just for myself. I could go for walks in the park, read a book, or simply sit in quiet. I started to remember who Jan was, not just a mother or a wife. I even bought a new dress. It felt good to rediscover parts of myself I thought I had lost, to feel like an individual again. Our evenings changed completely. Jimmy was home to eat dinner with us every night. We sat around the table, talking and laughing about our day. The children were happy to have their father there, telling him about school and their games. We played board games and read stories together before bed. The house, which had felt so empty and quiet, was now full of warmth and joyful sounds. It was the family life I had always wanted. We even started going for walks as a family on the weekends. Sometimes a thought of Mark would come to my mind, but now I understood why I had felt drawn to his kindness. It was not because I wanted a new relationship. It was because I was very lonely and felt unseen. I needed someone to notice me, to talk to me. That small attention from Mark was a symptom of a bigger problem in my life, a problem that Jimmy and I were now fixing together. His kindness had been like a small light, showing me how dark my world had become. The difficult times had taught us many important lessons. We learned about the importance of talking to each other openly, even when tired or scared. We learned that we needed to make time for our relationship, not just for work and children. It was a hard storm that we had passed through. There were moments when I thought we would not make it, but we held onto each other tightly and we fought for our love. Now, Jimmy and I felt closer than ever before. We understood each other's struggles in a new way. Our love had grown stronger because of the challenges we faced together. We were still learning, still growing, but we faced the future with hope and a new sense of peace. Our life was not perfect, but it was ours, and it was filled with a new, bright light. We knew that together we could face anything. We had found our way back to each other, and that felt like the greatest victory of all.